Okay. Now we are going to talk about the Gospel of the 29th Sunday in Ordinary Time at year C. So any questions, any observation, preguntas, duda, algo así que quiera compartir?
I have an observation. Um, the parable of the widow's perseverance introduced us as a parable of prayer and not giving up. It goes on to a story about justice. It begins with the introduction of the judge who does not fear God or men. In some way, it is like a story that helps us reflect on what character I am or what I want to be. So Jesus committed it is how the unjust judge thought. Perhaps they believed that God will not do justice for his chosen ones.
Okay, so your question is about
It is about the way God giving his grace to everyone. Even if we do not ask for, he's given everything what you need.
no. The thing is this. No, we have talked about this before. Even forgiveness, reconciliation, everything is around us. It's a question of recognizing, no, the gift of God. Even forgiveness is there. But as soon as we learn the lesson about the things we did wrong, you are forgiven. Because forgiveness is to be reconciled with God. No? It's not to do something to earn His forgiveness. It's for us to understand what happened, what was wrong, so we can be reconciled with Him. Because it's not the punishment that's going to reconcile us with God. It's our understanding of what happened that will make us be united with God. We are separated from Him because of ignorance. Because the more ignorant we are, more errors we're going to commit. So the more we know God, then less error we will commit. And the more we are close to God, the less we are prone to offend Him or other people. That's why the point again is to know what is wrong, and to know who God is and to know who we are, so we can be reconciled with Him. Now, Jesus used the judge as an example of how wicked man can be or could be, and it can still do some justice for some people out of whatever reason. Now, the point of Jesus is this: if you wicked as you are, will do justice because you're afraid of what the woman would do, how can you cannot trust God who loves you? So that's a comparison, no? If we, as bad human beings, can do justice out of fear, God who loves us can do more, and will always be there. So that's why I said, always maintain this relationship with Jesus, with God, this communication with God, which we call prayer, and that's the point of Jesus, no? But then let us be reminded, forgiveness is there, love is there. It's a question of recognizing that. And we are not going to change our ways if we did not know the love of God. We have said so many times, as we understood in our catechism, to get to heaven we have to avoid sin. But we always say, you cannot go to heaven by avoiding sin. You can go to heaven only because you want to go to heaven and because you know what it is. No? I hope you know that. I hope it's clear, or any questions. ¿Hay pregunta o? Lo que hemos dicho es eso, ¿no? Que lo que el perdón de Dios está siempre allá, ¿no? El punto es ser reconciliado con el Señor. Y no podemos reconciliarnos con Él si nosotros no entendemos o comprendamos lo que hemos hecho mal. ¿No? Por reconocer que lo que hemos hecho, aprender de la lección, estamos ya por aprender, estamos reconciliados con el Señor. Porque Él sabe, no tiene que castigar a nosotros. no necesita que nos castigue Él. Lo que Él quiere es aprendamos para que seamos reconciliados. Porque el castigo no va a reconciliarnos con el Señor. No. El cambio de pensamiento, de vida, es lo que va a reconciliarnos con el Señor, no el castigo. El castigo es de los seres humanos, no de Dios. Y para que seamos como Dios, para que haya paz entre nosotros y nuestros enemigos, debe que pensar como Dios. El propósito es reconciliarnos nosotros, restaurar la relación, ¿no? Es la razón también porque hemos dicho antes que la vida católica bien comprendida y vivida es muy simple porque hay un propósito nomás, ¿no? Es muy fácil porque nosotros no estamos haciendo la cosa sino Dios estamos colaborando con Él. Si digamos Dios que hace el trabajo, colaborar con Él, no es más fácil, ¿no? Que nada, ¿no? Y va a trabajar porque hemos aprendido a confiar en Él, va a funcionar en nuestra vida. Esta manera de ¿no? colaborar con el Señor. Entonces, como dijo Héctor, es simple, por un propósito nomás, fácil, porque dejemos a Dios que haga su trabajo, colaboramos con Él, funciona porque hemos aprendido a depender de Él, y ya muy fácil a vivir la vida. Para que lleguemos a este punto, debemos que mantener esa relación con Dios. La necesidad de orar, rezar, mantener esa comunicación con Dios, como Jesucristo nos mostró. Cada vez, antes de hacer la cosa, siempre estaba comunicando con Dios en su Padre. ¿Hay otra pregunta?
I have a question. The gospel today is about the pray to God, right? But should we pray to God until He gives us whatever we want, or we need to know what is best for us?
Well, the thing is, we do not know, no matter how smart you are, what is good for you, because we do not know what's coming to us. Because we have to be realistic. No matter how much, how you plan your life, this is the best thing for me to do. We do not know what's going to happen, because even our family members, our best friend, can thwart our plan. ¿No? Aún miembros de la familia o nuestro bien amigo van a romper lo que estamos pasando. Entonces no sabemos qué va a pasar. So, la cosa siempre debemos que confiar en nosotros. We have to trust in God, who knows what is good for us. We can plan on doing the whatever, ¿no? Podemos planear lo que queremos hacer, pensando que es de bien, pero depende realmente qué pasará. Pero debe que pensar que Dios siempre quiere lo mejor para nosotros. But we have to trust in God. He wants the best for us. And no matter what, that we are going to be victorious. Victorious in the sense that we want to do His will at the end, no matter what happens, it will happen. The good thing will happen. So we don't have to really insist in asking what we think we need. It's rather trusting in Him that eventually the best will be given to us. So entonces, en vez de insistir o pedir lo que pensamos que necesitamos, más bien confiar que Él nos va a dar lo mejor que necesitamos. Es más bien eso, ¿no? Porque lo que pensamos que es perfecto para nosotros, no hay seguridad en esto, porque no tenemos control de nuestra vida, porque hay gente que va a quebrar nuestro plan, ¿no? ¿Han experimentado eso? Have you experienced that in your life? You plan so well, everything, in detail, and yet one error from somebody, everything broke down. And we have no. But trusting in God, that God will always do the best will give us the best, is the best way of living life. Not to plan because there are so many people around us, who maybe do not think like we do. So there you go. but then we also do not know God's in this way because we cannot see Him. We can only trust in Him. And then by experience, when we experience how He deals with us, then we learn how to depend on Him. ¿No? Por experimentar lo que ¿no? el amor del Señor, ahora vamos a confiar más en Él, aunque no podamos saber con seguridad, con certeza lo que va a pasar. Pero por experimentar su amor, tenemos más confianza en el Señor, ¿no? That's okay. We can answer your question. Okay, what are we doing?
No, just not a question, just a statement. I do agree with you. The trust. When there's not trust, the situation you're going through, the problem you're going through, is totally different when you trust in God. I mean, you might see there's a huge problem, but myself personally, I do not see myself without God, confronting life without Him, because I know the experience now is going to be a lot easier with Him, always.
Uh-huh.
Now, can you explain also what would be the difference between believing and trusting? I look at two different ways, because a lot of people, they believe in God, but they don't really trust. And the trust to me is knowing, like you already mentioned, knowing what's going to happen, not knowing you. I mean, the situation is going to happen in the future.
Uh-huh.
You still trust in them. Can you explain a little
Well,
bit?
the thing is, I think we have to ask the people what do you mean by believing God? Because I believe in God because okay. The thing, I think most people do not really understand the real meaning of believing in God. For example, in Spanish, tengo fe en Dios. ¿Qué significa esto, no? Tengo fe en la Virgen. Tengo fe en los santos. That we say that in Spanish, no? But what do you mean by that? I have faith in Virgin Mary. I have faith in the saints. I have faith in God. So what do we mean by that? No? One thing is, I believe in God, I believe in the Virgin Mary. Okay. Do you believe they existed? Or what do you mean by you believe? Because we say trusting is another thing. Now, we can only trust the person. For example, we trust our parents when we were young. No? Bad or good, we trust them because they know more. Then the more we experience their love for us and their care for us, the more we trust them. On the contrary, there are children who, because of the way they were treated by their parents, have lost their trust in their parents. They still believe that they're their parents, but they do not trust them. Let's put it this way, okay? Entonces, hay niños, hijos, hijas, que por el mal tratamiento de sus padres creen que sí, son mis padres, pero no confío en ellos. Muy diferente. Entonces la confianza trusting is different. Trusting is increase your faith in your father in the sense that you trust your parents, and that your faith in God in the sense that you have experienced God's love is different than from simply saying I believe in God. I believe in God has no meaning really until you have experienced that God in your life. ¿No? Creer en Dios o tener fe en Dios es una cosa. Experimentar, ¿no? El amor del Señor es otra. Muy diferente.
Right.
Es muy claro, ¿no? Very clearly among children who have gone astray. In fact, I remember this in the 80s, early 80s. This young man, 17 years old, was in the juvenile prison imprisonment. And he said, had his parents did not tell him anything about God. Had they told him about God, he would have not been there. And that's the thing, So maybe because he was not told anything about God, maybe he did not know God. How can you trust someone you did not know? You did not know. You cannot. Huh? And those now, he knew his parents, but he lost his trust in his parents. You see? So trust and belief, they're not the same. To believe in God, they have to explain what do they mean by that. But that to trust in God means that you have experienced His love. That's why you trust Him. That's why the more important thing for us who have experienced God is to show other people that how God has worked or is working in our life.
And the more, I believe, the more you experience it,
the more you see it,
the more you see it, the more you trust it.
Yeah. And that's why, and that's the thing. It's not simply I believe in God.
Right.
I believe in my parents, they're my parents, but I don't trust them. Yo creo que son mis padres, pero no tengo confianza en ellos. Es la realidad, es muy triste, ¿no? Muy triste. So, to believe in God is to convince you that there's a God. No? Maybe you're convinced for whatever reason. There's God. I believe in God. But to trust in Him is to experience Him in your life. That's why faith for those who believe in God is the experience of God's love. No. Faith in God for those who do not know God is to trust in Him who we do not know. But if you believe in God, then it must be translated into your experience of God. Fe en Dios es creer que hay un Dios. Pero si cree en Dios, la fe ahora es la experiencia de la persona que cree que existe. Entonces, la fe, for those who believe, has gone more, step further, or nearer to God. So maybe you are at that point, because you're experiencing the trust more. But those who believe in God but they do not trust in God, let's stop with believing that somebody is greater than me, but I don't experience Him. No.
Yeah, and for each one of us, it's going to be different.
Yeah, and that's why our mission is to help them experience God.
Yes.
Again, remember this: we commit errors in our life because we do not know God. So the solution is for us to know God. The more we know Him, the less errors we will commit in life. I think we have to make it clear, no? The más que conocemos al Señor, menos problemas vamos a tener en la vida, porque no conocemos. But the thing though is this, no? We have to be in constant communication with God because we have said we do not know how things will develop. We have good plans. We think we know what's good for us, but we still have to trust in Him, the God. He's the only one who knows these things. We do not. So that's why the question of Jesus is, when the Son of Man comes into this world, will He find faith in this world? Will He find faith? And then, who can answer that question? Only those who believe in God. That's why the Catholics, the Christians, have a very great responsibility and answerable to God. If we fail to show the world how God is working in our life, transforming us, then we fail God, we fail the world, and we fail ourselves. Si nosotros no podamos realmente experimentar al Señor, hemos fallado a Dios, al mundo, a nosotros mismos. Deben que mostrar a ellos, cómo Dios está trabajando en nuestra vida. Porque si no, ¿quién va a hacer esto? Falsos profetas. Any more thing? I hope if you're watching us, again, we have this comment, heard this comment that we do it in the Bible study differently, but because we want to dwell on the message of Jesus, not on the whatever words there are on the Word of God, but we want to know the message and share our experiences of really walking with Jesus. That's what we are trying to do. So if you have any questions, please let us know. Let us know. Okay, thank you.